Good evening. I'd like to call the Monday, October 12th, 2015 meeting of the Planning Commission to order. If everybody would please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Tonight's agenda will consist of the consent agenda. We'll have a public hearing on a rezoning for St. Luke's Specialty Clinic, a preliminary plat for St. Luke's Specialty Clinic, and then a site plan and design review for Parkway Villas. And then we will have other business and our adjournment. So with that, if I would entertain a motion for the consent agenda. Commissioner Wallace, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Peel? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Before I open the public hearing, I'll read through the procedure real quick. I'll open the public hearing, call for exhibits from our city attorney. Staff will make comments. Then the applicant will be given an opportunity to make their presentation. I'll ask for witnesses in favor of the petition, witnesses opposed. Then we'll have a general discussion and questions from the commissioners, and then I'll close the public hearing and we'll vote on a recommendation for the City Council. So with that said, I would like to open the public hearing for the rezoning RZ-09-15-49-79. I would ask for the exhibits.
Thank you. The city's exhibits are Exhibit 1, Staff Report with Attachments. Exhibit 2, Affidavit of Publication in the Blue Springs Examiner on September 26, 2015. Exhibit 3, the Application with Attachments. Exhibit 4, the 185-foot notification map. Exhibit 5, the names and addresses of property owners within the 185 feet of the site. Exhibit 6, a copy of the letter that was sent to the property owners. Exhibit 7, Title IV Land Use section of the Blue Springs Code of Ordinances. And Exhibit 8, the 2003 Comprehensive Plan. Those are the exhibits for the city.
Thank you very much. And Mr. Wright is going to make the presentation. I believe you're going to do the rezoning and the preliminary plat.
Yes, I'll do both
at the same time, but we will vote on those as separate issues. So with that, take it away.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. Before you this evening, we have two requests. The first is a rezoning request for a property on approximately 10.3 acres located at the southeast corner of Northeast Adams Area Parkway and Northeast R.D. Mize Road. And the request is to rezone the property, from county agriculture to service office Adams Area Parkway overlay. The applicant, St. Luke's Health Systems Incorporated, is requesting to rezone the property to service office Adams Area Parkway overlay for the future development of medical offices on the site. The proposed use meets the intent of the service office and the Adams Area Parkway overlay zoning districts and the future land use map of the Adams Area corridor plan. The second request is a preliminary plat for St. Luke's Specialty Clinic, which is a one-lot subdivision. And the preliminary plat shows the proposed medical office building being located in the northwest corner of the site with the associated parking to the south and the east behind the building. Building, parking, and paving setbacks are 50 feet along Adams Area Parkway, 25 feet along Northeast R.D. Mize, and 20 feet along the south and east property lines that are adjacent to agriculture zoning districts. There will be one point of access each from Northeast R.D. Mize Road and Northeast Adams Area Parkway, and a future cross-access easement to the property to the east, which will eventually tie into Northeast Napoleon Drive when that is constructed in the future. There's a large stormwater treatment facility area down here in the south central part of this site that will include a detention pond. There's also a stream buffer in that area. There is a concern over the ownership that's hard to see on this site, but there is a 15-foot strip of property that was left over when right-of-way was relocated for Northeast RD Mize. It's unsure right now who is the property owner on that, so that is something that the applicant will need to determine. And if it is not owned by the city, they will need an access easement granted prior to approval of the final plat for access from RD Mize. So that is one of the conditions that we have included in the staff report. And then after further discussion, staff would also recommend to amend condition number 4 in the staff report, and I will let Ben kind of read through that amendment.
As Matt mentioned, after further discussion this afternoon with the applicant, I will read the revised language for staff recommendation number 4. So, if you're ready, a right turn lane is required for the proposed right-in and right-out on Northeast Adamsbury Parkway, approximately 560 feet south of Northeast RD Mize Road. For Phase 1 of the St. Luke's development, a 50-foot radius curb return at the southeast corner of the drive shall be constructed. For Phase 2 of the St. Luke's development, a deceleration lane meeting requirements of the Manual of Uniform Traffic Control Devices and storage area approximately 75 feet in length on Adamsbury Parkway at the West Drive shall be constructed unless warrants provided with a future traffic study, including current traffic speeds on Adamsbury Parkway, indicate otherwise. The city will dedicate the appropriate right-of-way to allow the turn lane on their adjacent property to the south, or require it be dedicated by the owner of such property. Turn lane improvements are required to be shown on the final plat and installed prior to the issuance of a final certificate of occupancy for each phase of the development, unless warrants provided with a future traffic study, including current traffic speeds on Adamsbury Parkway, indicate otherwise. Did you guys get all that?
Yeah, word.
Does anyone have any questions on that amendment? Okay. Other than that, there are a total of 12 conditions on the preliminary plat, and staff recommends approval of the rezoning request from agriculture to service office, Adamsbury Parkway overlay, and the preliminary plat subject to the 12 conditions included in the staff report, including the one revision for condition number 4. I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions for Mr. Wright?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Mr. Peel.
I have a question for staff. Is there a bus stop at the corner of this location, RD Mize and Adamsbury Parkway?
I do not believe there's any bus transit.
Okay. Is there a future plan for any kind of transportation stop there?
Mr. Chairman, staff would have to defer to the applicant in terms of their phasing plan as to whether they would be considering any kind of a transit stop. But staff, at this point, with the preliminary plat and the rezoning, have not recommended that. Again, they have additional applications still forthcoming that might be more applicable to make that request at that point.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome. Any other questions from the commissioners? Thank you, Mr. Wright.
Thank you.
Would the applicant like to come forward and make their presentation? And I'll need you to state your name, address, and be sworn in.
Both or? Well, we probably all should be.
If more than one's going to testify, yes.
Yes. Good evening. My name is Brad Sonner with Olson Associates. Our address is 7301 West 133rd Street, Overland Park, Kansas. Also with me tonight is Jeremy Bechtold with St. Luke's Health System. We have Dennis O'Rourke with Hafer Wysocki Architects, and also Tom Fulton with Olson Associates. So appreciate the time to be here this evening. Staff did a great overview. We will be back in front of this body with the site plan design review here shortly, probably in a couple weeks. So we look forward to that. So we're here to stand for questions. We are in agreement with all 12 recommendations, and would respectfully ask for your support on these 2 applications. And as I said, we'll stand for questions if you have any.
Any questions? Yes, Commissioner Billups.
Could you give, you said you'd be back in a couple of weeks, hopefully, with the site plan, which I really look forward to. What kind of a time frame are we looking at on this whole project?
Sure. Jeremy Bechtold, Vice President of Facilities and Construction for St. Luke's Health System. We appreciate you guys having us and are excited to provide health care in Blue Springs, additional health care than what we already do today. But we look forward to moving this project forward very quickly, and are looking out into 2017 to have the project completed. We don't have a firm date on, the opening date yet, but
well, sure.
We're working to push through the process as quickly as we can from Planning Commission to Council, and our final plat, I think, will or our final plan will go through following approval of the preliminary plat.
Good. We look forward to it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions for the applicants? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak in favor of the petition? I see no one. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak in opposition to the petition? I see none. So I will open it up for questions and discussion among the commissioners.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Commissioner Peel.
Just a comment to the applicants, and I guess to staff too, is the reason behind my asking for the bus is because I think one of the requirements for this zoning is access. And I know that Blue Springs doesn't have a heavy KC ATA presence other than some locale. But, with this being a specialty clinic or a specialty office, is that you may have need by some people to have some kind of public transportation available or a stop somewhere in that region for the public. So that was only the reason for my question and comment.
Okay, great. Thank you. Any other comments, questions?
I think my grandfather willed me that 15-foot. Just kidding.
I think you'll have to take that up with the applicant. Any other questions from the commissioners? Seeing none, I am going to close the public hearing and bring it back up here for motions, comments from the commissioners. Yes, Commissioner Billups.
First off, I'm very glad to see this this corner being developed, and I think this is going to be a great addition. I move that we recommend approval of RZ 09154979.
A second.
I have a second from Commissioner Peel. This will be a roll call vote.
Okay. Planning Commissioner Wallace.
Aye.
Planning Commissioner Haney.
Aye.
Commissioner Peel.
Aye.
Commissioner Duhan.
Aye.
Commissioner Billups.
Aye.
Commissioner Banks.
Aye.
Chairman Graham.
Aye.
Recommend approval.
We will recommend approval to the City Council. Next item would be, we've heard for the preliminary plat. I would entertain a motion, comments, questions in regard to that.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Commissioner Billups.
I would move for approval of preliminary plat PP 09154980 with the 12 staff recommendations as amended as number 4 was amended by staff.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second? Second from Commissioner Duhan. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Next item on our agenda will be the site plan and design review for Parkway Villas, and Mr. Hawley is going to present that to us.
Thank you, and thank you, members of the commission. Let me bring this up real quick. Let's put it down here. On June 9th of 2014, the Planning Commission approved a 43-unit assisted living development on approximately 3.9 acres of ground located at the southwest corner of Southeast Adams Dairy Parkway and Southeast Moreland School Road. That approval expired in June after 1 year. The applicant now is coming back and requesting a reapproval of that site plan design review application. He's not requesting any changes to the original approval, simply to get a reapproval. Provided in your packet as Exhibit A was a letter from the applicant explaining their reasons for the delay. They have now submitted plans for building permits. However, those permits can't be issued until this site plan design review is reapproved, and the building plans then have gone through the building plan check process. So with that, I will stand for any questions, and I know the applicant is here as well if there are any questions for them.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Hawley? Yes, Commissioner Billups.
I'm on a roll tonight.
You are.
Mr. Hawley, I remember at some point we went back and we made a revision to what was approved originally on this site, where we changed the facades or something like that, I believe.
Correct.
And does this reflect the change that we discussed,
Yes,
or was this the original?
This does reflect the change in that facade as approved by the commission, and that facade is up now. I think I can rotate that. Oops, here we go.
Let's build it that way.
Let's try this one more time. I think if I just keep hitting that same one, we'll eventually get there. This is the facade. This is the change to the facade, and the facade that the developer intends to build based on the previous approval.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Hawley.
Thank you.
Would the applicant like to make a presentation?
Yes.
If you could state your name and address for the commissioners, please.
Yes. Roy Allen, attorney for the applicant. My address is 3516 Northwest Winding Woods Drive in Lee Summit, Missouri. And joining me tonight is the developer and builder of the project, Dana Zander. It was about a year ago that we were before the commission with our site plan application asking for approval, and we did receive your approval. We have, as Mr. Hawley explained, have all of our building construction plans turned in, or development plans rather, and architectural plans being drawn up by Wallace Architects out of Columbia, which was before this body last June. And we have run into the unfortunate problem of the one-year expiration of the approval that you gave us the first go-around. So we are asking for reapproval. As Mr. Billups pointed out, there was one change to the architectural design on the front facade, front elevation of the buildings, and that's what you see before you, and that's already been approved. So that is part of our application that we're asking for reapproval of. So if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them, but we again would like to and are moving forward with this, but we do need your approval tonight, or reapproval on the site plan to do so.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Mr. Allen from the commissioners? I guess there aren't any. Thank you.
Thank you.
I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Commissioner Duhan.
I would move that we approve case number SPDR 05-14-4225 for approval. Do what?
I think you were looking at
I'm sorry, with staff recommendations as they stand, the 7.
I think you were giving us the wrong case number, though,
Yes.
Commissioner Duhan.
I am. Oh, I'm looking at the old one. I'm sorry. I apologize. Let me get back to the beginning. Okay. PP-09. No?
This one.
Well, try it again. Okay. SPDR 05-14-4425. Is that the right one?
That's not,
Parkway Villas.
is the one on there is
Parkway
different?
Villas.
That should be
Yeah,
right.
look
That
at
should
the
be right.
memorandum page. There's one in
I'm
the
looking at
subject. It's
that.
a revised project number. That's the right one? The 915-4978?
That is the correct number, yes, Commissioner
Okay.
Phillips.
Scratch everything I said. I move that we approve case SPDR-09-15-4978 with the 7 staff recommendations as stated.
That is correct. Thank you. I have a motion. May I have a second? I have a second from Commissioner Banks. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. You're welcome. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is other business, which the only thing I have would be our next meeting on October 26th. We have a site plan design review for Hardee's Restaurant. We have a site plan design review and a preliminary plat for GPI facilities, and we'll be looking at the site plan and design review for St. Luke's Specialty Clinic that we just approved preliminary plat for tonight. And Mr. Allen,
Yes,
you
thank
have
you,
other business.
Mr. Chairman. No, related to that as well, there are 2 other meetings this week. Tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock, appearance review committee. There's a committee. Appearance review committee for overseas Adams Dairy Parkway overlay for that St. Luke's site plan design
Okay.
review. And then Wednesday night is Board of Adjustment for the GPI. They have
Okay.
a setback variance request. So those are both required in advance of the
So they're
26th
contingent
meeting.
on those meetings then if we
Yeah,
see them or
essentially.
not?
Yes.
Okay.
And the meeting Wednesday night is at 6:30. I'm pretty sure we'll be done by 7:07 for a Royals game. So
701. Thank you, Mr. Allen. Any other new business or old business, for that matter, to be brought forward? Yes, Commissioner Billups.
Would like to remind everyone that a week from today, on the 19th, is the Downtown Alive annual chili luncheon. So please, everyone come down, see everyone, get some chili. And
October 19th. Do you
October
need-
19th. I have the tickets if anybody wants. I don't have them with me, but I have
Okay.
some.
Can you buy tickets?
You can buy
at the
tickets at
door
the door.
that day
You
as
can buy
well?
them in advance.
Where's the door?
It will be at Pizza Shop, like
Pizza
it was
Shop.
last year.
Perfect. Thank you. Any other business? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion from Commissioner Billups, second from Commissioner Banks. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting is adjourned.